I don't think it's still snowing. I think it's either snow blowing off the roof or blowing out of the trees. Might be snowing a little, but we had some pretty wild predictions out of this winter storm Blair that just came through. Some of our local people were saying we'd have up to 2 feet in this area by Tuesday morning, by tomorrow morning. It doesn't look like it's going to get there right now. We didn't get much to add on to what we already had. Some, not insignificant, not what I expected. Not sure how the audio did on the first take, but it is still maybe snowing just a little bit. We don't, I mean, we got about a foot of snow on the ground that we're wading through. Not sure how that showed up. So we got about a foot of snow on the ground. The wind is coming out of the east, so we're on that backside of that storm, I believe. Yeah, it's coming out of the north and the east, so that should be that top quadrant spinning back around. So we should be on the tail end of it now. Is it going to whip some things back to us? We'll see. So now I'm in this little predicament as to whether I bring the cows to the hay in here, just give them this little section here, or do I continue to throw it over the fence? I'd like to build a little, alleyway right there. Eventually we're going to do a more permanent situation, but I'd like to build a little alleyway between here and where they are, and give them some access into this as we feed them. Now that goes against doing the bale grazing thing, because it doesn't do me any good in here. I have to get a machine and gather it up and take it out. Isn't the end of the world, except I don't have easy access to the machine, so it's better if I place them out there ahead of time. So it does offer some benefits, and there are some problems. So benefits would be that since the hay's in the barn here now, by building this little alleyway, it would allow me to roll the bales out there and even down into the bottom to make the cows spread out some. So that's a benefit. The negatives, of course, the snow's not so bad now that we couldn't do that. The negatives are that feeding them here is going to cause, this is going to get built up with manure, waste hay, pea. I don't really know what it's going to turn into. And even if I just gave them, if I left these pallets here and I put a gate back here, that's a small area, so it wouldn't give them 100% access. They'd probably do a little knocking around in here, so it's not perfect. And would I run the electric in here, that would make it a little tighter still. So we maybe run the electric out there and around the loop, and take some gates and build a little alleyway into here. Yeah, I mean, there's positives and negatives. So what I've decided to do, probably ill-advisedly, is to run the polywire as a gate instead of the physical gate, to run the polywire. see, do we do the same thing up there? Hey, this is probably going to be a fail, I can tell you. One thing about moving into the new year and thinking about accomplishing goals and you know, having resolutions and things like that is, you know, this just getting caught up in the busyness. You know, we get caught up being busy, and is it the things that we need to be busy with? It's probably a bit of a stretch, but one commentator suggests that when Abraham places his tent between Bethel and Ai, and he builds an altar there, that he is, you know, kind of placing himself between the two worlds, placing himself between God and between the world. And it's important that in all this busyness that we take our times to have time with God, that we take our moments to have our, you know, our intentions, our quiet times, good quality time, not what's left over, but the good quality time, the best of us. You know, I find myself all the time giving God what's left over. I should give him the best part of my day. When we find ourselves with a reward, we should remember where that blessing came from and deliver it back to him and to his hands as a way of worship, and not giving him the scraps of my day. So I wasted my morning away today. I didn't get up and dedicate, you know, good quality time to God. I'm going to come out here, I'm going to do all this work, I'm going to do some work inside, and then he's going to get what's left over. In all the busyness of life, we have to give God the top part, the best part. I know you guys are going to break that fence post off if I don't take it out of the way. So, just set that right there for a second. Pull this in here and start securing things. Alright, that's not exactly the way I thought it would go. Dotbot, you about to have some visitors in here for what it's worth. Okay, let's get the old multi-purpose gate latch baler's twine. I don't like the way that's positioned. Every reason that I had to think that this would be a disaster came absolutely true. The polywire was a disaster. They broke it already. I had them pinched too tight over there. It's broke down here because I had them pinched too tight there, so I gotta open it up on both sides, and I didn't have the juice on, so they didn't have any reason not to be pushing on it. So too much hurry, too much rush leads to a disaster. So not so much a disaster, just I gotta go redo some work now. Didn't really want to do that. So I'd like to say that this did not work. The polywire was not enough for the pressure that they were putting on it. And the calves they've never really tasted it enough to know not to go through it. And the big cows kept knocking them through it. And Madison had to come and rescue me. And I have been way too long on this particular project. It was very frustrating, and she didn't yell at me too much. But I'm done for this day. I gotta go find somewhere to have some success. Love y'all.